Okay, so here we are again, another day in the workshop. So next I'm going to attack this other branch here that's not, it doesn't really have any interesting features, it's just a straight bit of branch, there's not going to be any interesting grain in it. So having learned a bunch yesterday about this wood and how to do this particular project, I'm just going to go ahead. I've mounted my worm screw in my chuck. I'm going to drill a hole in the bottom of this and get it mounted up and round it up and hollow it out. It should be that simple. Okay, so I got it mounted up. I'm going to stand to the side. I reduced the speed all the way. I checked that my tool rest is clear by rotating it manually. Let's see how much the thing shakes, depending on how off balance it is. No, it's not bad at all. I should be able to turn that up quite nicely. Okay, so I have it round now, and there's still a tiny little bit of bark, but that's gonna come off as I work out what the shape of the thing is anyway. So I'm good with that roundness. I'm gonna square up the ends now because it's still off balance because the ends aren't square. That'll let me be able to increase the speed because it won't shake when I speed it up. Okay, so I'm going to put a 2-inch tenon on this end so that I can turn it round, mount it up and hollow it out. Okay, so the design decision that I have to make is how big or how small I want to make this thing. I think what I'm going to do is hollow it first, because having all that meat around it while I'm hollowing will make it sturdier, and then I'll bring down the outside diameter once I can really see what I'm doing. I also have to decide how deep in I want this thing. Okay, so as I drilled that out, I was thinking about design, and I think I've come up with a design, um, but yet again, it's going to push my technical abilities to its absolute limit, because why the hell not? This one, actually, my technical and my artistic. So here's the thought. I've got this drilled out to about 2.5 inches, so the glass will sit in about that much. Somewhere around there. Again, you can see the steam coming off this thing from the drill, from drilling the wet wood. So what I want to do is have this base end wider, and then have it narrow in to just wider than the glass itself. Obviously with the glass, I'm going to have to hollow this out so that the glass fits in it. But basically I want it to look like the bottom of a tree with vines running up it. So the basic shape will be going from this width to a bit wider than the glass, holding the glass. But then I'm going to try and work out how to engrave or carve vines coming up the side of the solid wood, and then again, cutting the holes so it looks like the vines are coming up the side. Let's see if I have any luck attempting that. But before I get to that scary artistic stuff, I have to do a bunch more hollowing. I wanted to go for like a tree viney kind of effect, but I seem to have come up with more of a foresty effect. And as you can see, this piece has also started cracking in a couple of places. But that doesn't worry me on this one, because I think it'll just look like part of the design. In fact, I might modify the design. So the next thing I'm going to do is try and carve this, give it some texture and relief. Yeah, so I find it kind of amusing. It's like, so I want to learn wood turning, and now here I am doing carving. And of course that isn't going to be the limit of it. To get the effect I want on this vase, I'm going to do the carving, and then I'm going to get a blowtorch and burn the whole thing to make it dark, and then use sandpaper to lighten it back up, which should give me, the things that are furthest out are going to lighten up the most, because the sandpaper will get to them, and the stuff that's further back will remain dark. So there's always something new to learn. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so I just did a little test carve. There, you can't see a thing, can you? On this piece of scrap, which I think was from the vase that I did. But it's, it's side grain, so it is going to be what I'm going to be doing. I'm using this very small carving burr, which I'm going to need because of all of the detail on this. I have to go really light, otherwise it's causing tear out because the wood's wet. So other than the fact that this might take the rest of my life, it should, I feel like I can control the tool. I am going to put on my dust mask because I am up close, and yeah, it's throwing sawdust right in my face. I finally engraved the vase to something that I like. No, it's not a vase, it's the base of a candlestick. So it looks pretty tree and woody, and I'm pretty pleased with that. And now, because I can't leave well enough alone, I'm going to set fire to it. No, I'm going to attack it with a blowtorch and blacken the whole thing, and then sand it back so it should stay dark in the recesses and lighter on the outside. Let's see how that goes. Well, I didn't do exactly what I was expecting, but it looks mighty cool. Maybe I should just leave it like that, but I'm going to hit it with a sander anyway, and we'll see what happens. But that is pretty cool. I like it. I like that a lot. So now I have to try and get the glass in it again, which I think, yeah, it's very tight, but I'm going to try just filing out from the inside to get it to fit back in. So I really don't want to try and get this back on the lathe. Okay, so I am pretty pleased with that. Now I just have to decide how to finish it, and I think it'll be another layer of epoxy, a layer of epoxy like the other candlestick I did. The only problem is that's going to increase the bulk on the inside, and it's already tight fit already, so I'll just have to be careful. Well, all in all, I'm pretty pleased with how that came out. It tested the limits of my artistic and technical ability, and that was fun.